Ready?
Okay, we're live.
Greetings, welcome everyone. Peace and blessings. Welcome to the Stopping the Violence webinar. For many of you that have been here before, and if this is your first time, we welcome you. We greet you with peace and blessings and love. Stopping the Violence have been established for, we're going into the third year now. This might actually be the fourth year. But we welcome you. This was a clarion call to address things that were the violence that was going on in our communities. It initially started with gun violence, but as we have delved deeper into violence overall, we have had a multiple speakers to come on and just share, different things that was going in their community, from mayors, governors, from down to grassroots. So we welcome you here today. Today we will be showing a video of a young man that was on before, Dr. James Watts. Is it James Watts or John Watts, EJ? But
John
he has
Watts.
John Watts, but he has a full ministry. He has been a blessing to his communities, working with the children and giving them some different options to do things differently. So pay attention. If you have any questions at the end, please feel free to ask your questions. If you're familiar with his testimony, um, feel free to comment. This is set up as a dialogue, not a monologue. So I welcome you and encourage you to share your thoughts, your ideals, your content of what you take from the context. So again, this is a previous recording. So please enjoy and feel free to ask questions or have your comments ready at the end. Okay, EJ, roll them.
Juncture. But we're saying we cannot afford to be numb to violence that is going on. And one of the instruments of violence that is a major concern is guns. But as we look at that, as well as looking at the gun being an inanimated object, that who are behind the guns, who are picking up the guns, and if we can deal with that more efficiently.
Are we having some technical difficulties?
Do you hear a sound on the background?
Yeah, sound
Okay, hold
and
on.
echo.
Okay, hold on.
Where we are committed to changing that is posted every day, and without fail, there's another murder. There's another killing. There's so much violence that is continuously going on that we're numb to almost at this juncture. But we're saying we cannot afford to be numb to the violence that is going on. And one of the instruments of violence that is a major concern is guns. But as we look at that, as well as looking at the guns being an inanimated object, that who are behind the guns, who are picking up the guns. And if we can deal with that more efficiently, then we can begin to see how we can curb, reduce violence in America and across the world. And so today, we have another great brother and man of God and man of in the spirit. We have Bishop-elect John D. Watts, and serves as the senior pastor and founder of the Kingdom Life Church Apostolic in Baltimore, Maryland, where we are committed to changing lives through the Word of God. That is their motto. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Bishop-elect Watts has served as a guest pastor on national and international platform in the United States, Canada, Jamaica, U.S. Virgin Islands, Tanzania, Kenya, Pretoria, South Africa, Ghana, and South Korea. Oh my goodness, Dr. Watts, we have to talk. God bless you. He has applied his leadership skills in several ministerial associations as chief of staff of the Eastern Atlantic Diocese of the International Bible Way Church of Jesus Christ, Apostolic Ministerial Alliance, second vice president, United Black Clergy of Anne Arundel County, and executive director for the Young Black Scholars Institute, mentor programs for boys, so critically important. He is the family coordinator for Strengthening Families, a program for building healthy families. He also serves as a member of the board of directors of We Are Us movement, vice president for the Al-Kalbulin Shule Community School, Board of Commissions of the Opportunity Gap of Anne Arundel County, Bowie State University for Black Male Educators and Leaders Alliance. He also served the Greater Baybrook Violence Reduction Leadership Team and the Board of Directors of the 100 Black Men of America. I didn't know that. Baltimore chapter, and the director of the Wiley H. Bates Legacy Center of Annapolis, Maryland, and a member of the Faith Journey undergraduate program. My goodness. As a crisis intervention, Bishop Watts has used his gifting in ministry to support youth with behavioral health needs under the guidance of Anne Arundel Public School, and has developed and launched a series of programs and workshops to support all youth and families in need. Not only does he support family, but he also has a family. Bishop-elect is a loving husband and has been happily married to his lovely wife, Angelica Watts, for 17 years. And they are proud parents of 3 beautiful children, Zachariah Alexander, Brooks Demi, and Jalen, Angel Watts. Oh, my goodness. We thank you for coming on. Well, you have such an impressive resume. You are busy, and we can see in the background that you're on premise. So we're really grateful that you have come on and to be able to engage with us and share with us your story and how you play and are playing a critical role in the reduction of crime in our communities and with our youth here in America. Let's welcome our dear brother, Bishop-elect Watts. Welcome, my brother. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am doing well. At one point I was like, oh my God, the 2:00 hour is coming, and I'm in this space, and so I am at work, and we have a full day. We have some challenging days today, but we're good, and so I'm here in one of the little offices tucked away. But it's good to see everybody. Good to see my great friend, the Imam in Michigan, brother. I think it's Huskins. I can't remember his name, but good to see everyone that's on here today. So you just want me to just kind of share some information with you who I am, and
yeah, please do, because what we have been doing, we have some incredible people such as yourself in the background, sharing how their roles that they have played and how God has been using them through programs or through whatever in order to reduce.
Sure. Well, I believe is so many wonderful people that's on here. I want to thank God for you, Brother Oliver, for having me, and Tamiko Dugan, and to Dr. Jenkins, and to also to Mother Moon, and all of the wonderful people of the Universal Peace Federation. Have given me this opportunity to do the work that I do. And understanding, I've learned this wonderful word, interdependency. The interdependency and understanding how we as the church, we are supposed to be in every facet of the community, in every area, and should engage in every fabric of the country and around the world. One of the things I want to say that Paul said that because we have been reconciled to Christ, we now have the ministry of reconciliation. So right now I work at a school in Annapolis, Maryland. The school doesn't have a great reputation. Usually it's an alternative school, and where they kind of send different kids from all over the county to my school. And my school is a wonderful place, many gifted young people that have great giftings. And so I've been sent here because Christ has given me now, because I have been reconciled, have been given me the ministry of reconciliation. And so to restore that which life, families that have been broken, and has given me the ministry to restore. And some of the kids that I deal with, I'm not going to say some of the kids, the majority of the kids that I deal with have been somehow affected by violence and trauma. Violence and trauma. I specifically deal with, in this space here, we deal with all of the kids, but most of the boys that I deal with in this space have somehow have had someone they lost in their life due to violence, or is still in the violence, have live in a community that exists in violence. One of the most interesting things that I've come to know, that the first thing we as the people of the kingdom of God gotta know that because we are people of peace, and because God is peace, that whatever situation that we get in, that we bring peace to that situation. And I'm saying this just so people could understand that the word of God tells us that perfect love casts out all fear, and that perfect love brings peace. It brings peace to any situation. And I want to share with you all that I love my people. I love the people that God has brought in my life, that I can be able to restore that which has been broken. And so God has given me, I started with a group of boys about almost 10 years ago, with a group of kids that the school was getting ready to put out of school. They was like, we don't want to deal with them. Mr. Watts, can you take these kids? Because we taught these kids tearing up the school, tearing up the community. I mean, these kids was robbing people. It's not funny, but they was robbing people at the 7-Eleven. They were stealing cars. They was in the school threatening folks. And this is how I all started before I got here. And what I did was I said, okay, you give me all the kids that you all don't want, and I'm going to show you all the power of God. That was the words that I said out of my mouth, not knowing that that I was going to take on this responsibility, and that God was not going to come out of heaven and do it himself, but he was going to use me. And there has been many days I cried, I prayed, I fasted, to help these particular boys that I had. And I want to share this with you all, because this is how I got started. These boys were selling on the streets. They had guns. There's a lot of stuff that they had. And so what I start doing, I start meeting with these boys. And this is the honest God truth, 7 days a week. I was with them Monday through Friday in school. I picked them up every Saturday. I took them out of their communities. I brought them to DC. I would take them to different places in the area. I taught them how to read from a menu. I took them to restaurants that they never experienced before. And then, not only that, on Saturdays, every Sunday, I took them to church. And these was boys who never ever stepped foot in the church, never been to a church, never knew what a church was on the inside. And I did that for about 5 years or more. And I want you to hear me. Now, it was a toll on me. It was a toll on my family, but thank God for my amazing wife and my children, because they allowed me to share them with, share my time with these boys. And I remember my wife, setting, sometimes would eat with them, and, we would do things. And my girls, sometimes I didn't go home, right then and there, because I had to drop all of the boys off. And so all of that, I did that about 5 to 6 years, maybe 7 years that I did. But I can share with you each kid that I got to speak with, and mature, the mentor, and did something with their life, have made a mark in their life. I got one that's married, one that's gone off to join the Marines. I got a couple of them that graduated. And I'm still working on one now. And I have one of them was my nephew. He graduated after they said he wasn't going to graduate, but he did on his own. And then I got one more that I'm dealing with now, along with this new group. So from that, I started a mentoring program called Young Black Scholars Institute. And Young Black Scholars Institute is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are committed to enhancing the lives of African-American males and all kids of color, and supporting them and mentoring them and giving them opportunities outside of their community. And so those ages are from 13 to 18. And usually how I target a kid, find out what their background is, find out what traumas they have dealt with in their life. It could be violence, could be gun violence, could be a loss of a father due to violence, a loss of a mother due to the violence, and that could be gun violence, that could be any type of abuse. And so these kids, we do a restorative. So I don't know if any of you all know that. So they have a thing that's called restorative justice, which is in the prison system, but we have it here at my school called restorative. And usually I use that as well as a mechanism to talk to our kids, to get to know who our kids are. One of the things I want to share with you, if I could, just mission and vision, and I can let you all ask any questions that you have. The mission of Young Black Scholars is to develop young males in the areas of leadership, respect, behavior, positive self-image, and academics. Though that is our mission, is to develop our young males in the areas of leadership, how to lead, respecting yourself and others, behaviors, making good decisions, and a positive self-image, loving yourself, also with academics, and that's math, science, social studies, language arts. So we focus on those things as well. And so one of the visions is, I'll just read this with you, that we create young scholars who will lead by example and improve social and academic performance. And also, lastly, improve the relationship with their peers, teachers, school personnel, and their community. And so going back into the community to try to help to improve their community. So I believe I'm gonna stop right there. If you want me to continue to talk, or if you have some questions, I would love to answer them at this time.
Reverend Watts, thank you so much, Bishop. While you were talking, first thing I thought about was the power, I think you said it in the beginning, the power of love. And when I started start leading this webinar, one of the things that struck me the most, and I came to conclusion, is that behavior problems and many times these at-risk communities are subjected to lack of love, not only in their environment, but from the greater society. So they're like in a bubble, compounded to nurture and to help cultivate more bad behavior. So what you did was to be a parent. That's what you did. And start taking them and exposing them to things they have never been exposed to broaden their view of life and broaden their minds and hearts. And it proved that they're not born criminals. They just happen to be victims of certain things that has caused them to act out in criminal ways.
Exactly. And that's the first thing, the first ministry of it is to show love. I did come as a parent. And one thing I want to say, I heard Dr. Bunley said that consistency breeds success. Consistency breeds success. When you love people, and I love the kids that God has given to me, and I say it that way. I'm unapologetic. I know I work in the school system, but these kids God gave to me. And case in point, my first week here, I started, and there was a young man, and I didn't know who the young man was. He was one of the, the big kids. Everybody respected this kid. I didn't know. I started talking to him, and I felt a little bit of resistance, but then we started talking again, and then the kid opened up one day. He just opened up, and I listened, because that's the first thing that we have to do is listen to the kids. We gotta listen. We so quick to come up with the answers. We try to fix it. But I began to listen to this young man's story and how he began to share with me that his father was killed through gun violence, and along with another student's mother was killed through gun violence, that they were together. And I began to just listen. I didn't say anything. I listened. And we went through a few things, and he shared with me what he wanted to do. So immediately I jumped on it. Had somebody come in from a publisher company to help him to get his lyrics copyrighted. From that time, from that one little listening tour I call, that young man calls me Pops. And it was through that young man, I now have 7 young men, and 3 of them call me Pops. And so I think it's important that we know we have the answers. We know we have, we want to fix it. But sometimes God will have us in those places as the ministry of presence just to listen. And trust me, our kids are going through a lot. And definitely, they're not going through the stuff that we've dealt with. There is a world that exists that we don't know nothing about. There is a world of violence that exists that even the church don't know about, and that these young people experience this in the schools. Sometimes it's, and I can share this with you if you allow me. There's a movement that even while I'm in this system, this school system, there's sometimes a current undercurrent that flows right in front of our face. And we as teachers and crisis interventionists and clinicians and psychologists, we don't even realize that it's happening. Until one of the kids said, "Did you see that? Did you see? This is what that means. That's what that means. This kid is going to be attacked. That's what that means." And I'm like, well, we don't even know about it. So, but even in the community, it's happening. So it's good that I feel like I'm glad that I'm in a space to listen, to to provide unconditional love and support, but also be a consistent man in these kids' life, because they don't get to see consistency. And so even through the family, you all know it, everything starts from the home. If you got violence in the home, baby, you're going to have violence in the street, because violence breeds violence. And if we, as the people of God, as professionals, can get the home life straight with mom and dad, and if mom and dad is not together, man and woman who created that child, and we can get them together. And that's why I started, which is a SAMHSA-based program called Strengthening Families. Strengthening Families is just a thing that we take parenting, parents do this class to how to treat your child, and then how to treat one another, even if you're not together, but how to communicate and not breed and replicate the violence that's going on in the communities and in our cities. When you fix the problem at home, you can fix the problem in the community. And when you can fix the problem in the community, you can fix the problem in the city, and it keeps going, but it gotta start at home. Sorry, Dr. Oliver, I can go on because this is my passion. You know, the violence breeds violence. And it starts, think about it. You have a group of people that's fighting at the house, and they go to the same church. What you think gonna happen at that church?
Break out.
Break out. You have a group of people in that house that's arguing with the people in the community, and after a while, they gonna be unsettled, and they gonna take that stuff from the community to their jobs, and their jobs are gonna breed more, and that's what we have. And so we can fix it with ourselves, with our families, especially with the young people. We can do some great stuff in the city and even in our country.
God bless you, Dr. Watts. Bishop, I mean, my heart is touched. Sometimes we think that there's these complicated type of programs and tools that you need to use. But it's a very simple tool that needs to be used. And that's the tool of, I love the word you use, the tool of unconditional love. And that's what all of God's children are yearning for. And this like you said, that undercurrent, which is now the subculture that is developed out there, it has no respect of person. None whatsoever. And it's void of love. And so it takes us who even don't understand it, there's a undercurrent going. But one thing that we know, there's a undercurrent that is undercurrent all that, and that is the power of God's love. It can heal all of it, so we can be, as you have said, it's the power of consistency always outflanks and beats Satan and how he uses in his insidious way people and cultures and all kind of stuff. So I'm really grateful. You said a mouthful. We want to hear more from you, but I would like just to open up the door for anyone else who has, and I didn't look at the chat. I was so busy enthralled and listening to you. I didn't look at the chat. But anybody else would like to share or open up, ask a question to Bishop Watts?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Oliver. I just want to say to Bishop Watts, I've seen those challenges around the country, and I think that's the problem. We don't have enough people like you that are willing to listen. We have so many people with degrees, and they have these titles and these letters behind their name, but they don't have the connection with the people. They don't have a connection. And actually, sometimes they block people that do have the connection from doing the work that needs to be done. And so we need to have those people get out of the way. But just because you have a degree doesn't mean you know what to do. And some people just are able to touch the hearts and souls of especially our young people, and especially our young people of color, that they just don't have that ability to do that. You can't learn that in a book. You can't learn that in a class. You really got to be in tune and in touch with our young people. So I applaud you on the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend VJ Smith. He's also on the front line, have been on the front line, Dr. Watts. So, we're all going to have to, we're working. It might be a little slow, but we're going to get there, Reverend VJ, because more people come on the team, the better, and how we can correlate with one another. Thank you so much for your remarks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share with this. I couldn't do this by myself. God has allowed me to connect with an amazing group of men in Baltimore City that's called We Our Us. And it's a men's movement with Muslims, Christians, Moors, Black Hebrew Israelites, the Nation of Islam. And we have partnered with adopting schools, going out on the street corner, and actually talking to the young men. One of the things that changed my life about me doing the work that I do, and I don't know if anybody's going to understand this, because after I start dealing with young men and young men on the street, I start seeing them as humans. At first, I used to just hurry up and get in my car and avoid looking at them and for fear. But now, as I said, and I'm not telling anybody to do this, when I say perfect love cast out all fear, I have the boys that walk up and down the street that are, I call them street entrepreneurs, who, hey, Reb Watts, hey. And I remember I couldn't do that. I would avoid them. Now I go up and shake their hand and say, how you doing, son? I'm praying for you. And they like, or they come and get prayer. Now I'm talking about on my street corner in Baltimore City, where we was up to 300 and something murders. The pandemic made it necessary for me to see young men that they were somebody's child, which when everything on the news was calling them thugs, everything on the news was calling them animals, everything on the news. But I was able to look at them and say, you know what? You somebody's child. You somebody's son. You got a mother. You wasn't born in no farm. And, and that's what helped me to really start engaging more in the things that I do now, because even for their response, how they speak to me and say, hey, wave, and not just walk past, or give me a hug and say, what's up, Red? Where you been? I ain't seen you in a while. And I say, I'm still praying for you, son. You need to come on my side. I am. Just keep praying for me. There might not be big wins, but they're big wins to me when somebody come up and give me a hug, and I don't have to worry about somebody shooting me or hit me in the back of the head.
And you best believe they, and the good thing is about it is they have your back no matter what.
Absolutely. And
they will let no one touch you. That's wonderful. That is so beautiful. We have our dear sister Madeline Clark, and then June. I would like to have June to come on as well, but we can still engage. Dr. VJ, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dr. Madeline, and then we can have June say something as well. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Oliver. Greetings, everyone. Bishop Watts, I want to commend you for the work that you're doing. And you have to know that it's a gift to have that call. A lot of things that we are introduced to are hidden in plain sight. You talk about the undercurrent. It's hiding in plain sight, and you have to be in the position to understand the language and understand the verbiage in which they speak. because it's almost like learning a different language. But I thank and praise God that you have the heart, to serve those young men. Reverend Oliver and I are talking about it all the time about the identity crisis. So for you to be able to move in their lives and tell them that they're valuable, to tell them that they have worth, that's unsurmountable. We talk about the small things. You think it's a small thing that they're hugging you, or they're speaking to you, or they're looking up to you, but that's huge. That's huge, because that same group of young men that you're talking to and that you're assisting, you have removed them from that space that they were in. In psychology, we talk about nature versus nurturing. Nature is your DNA. It's what you're born with. It's basically who you are. But you're taking them into a place of nurturing and building those relationships and giving them value and self-worth. For you to be able to take them out to restaurants that they have never been introduced to, that changed their world. They changed their world. When you're a kid, you have a 1 to 3 mile radius, and you think that's what the world looked like. And until someone introduces you to something else, that's when hey, the world is bigger. The world is bigger. I can do better. I can sit at a table and eat properly. So those things are things you're giving them tools and a skill set to actually be able to go out into the world and not only survive, but to thrive as well as they continue. Because as you're loving on them and you're showing them that it's okay for a man to love, because it starts right there. We talk about the home and we talk about family dynamic, but if no one is showing you the love, if no one is hugging you, if no one is admiring you, if no one is stroking you to say you are a king, you have worth, you have value, that gives you a sense to be able to look at another brother and say, if I have worth and I have value, then that brother has worth and value as well. So it takes me to Romans 12:2, when it talks about renewing the mind. You're allowing them and putting them in a position to renew their mind. So you have blessed me on today. My question, and you might have answered it because you said it was like an alternative school. I was wondering if there was a referral process or a referral system. How are they coming into the alternative program? Hey,
So they
EJ.
come in 3 ways. One is through IEP.
Yes, thank you. There's some questions I sent out in the chat that this is a recording, but I see Wayne had his hand up and James Parker was there with his hands up. Okay, I want to hear your question and comments. As you see, I was part of the process, so I'm going to ask you, Wayne, to give your comments.
Hey, thank you. Dr. Watts, this group of young people that you took under your wing and you raised them up, was there a time when you saw a multiplication of goodness where they brought their friends, their family members to you to introduce them to you and for them to learn what they were learning to change themselves?
Okay, Wayne, this is a recording, but I can answer that question for you.
Okay.
He said that he started off with one guy and the guy bought his friend, but he said at this point he had a total of 7. In that 7, one is a mentor, one's married, one went to the Marines, and one has graduated. So for those that were introduced to Mr. Watts, they did bring someone else in. He was able to build a small community, and for the mentor, the first guy, he was able to mentor and give back what Mr. Watts had given to him. So yes, it did multiply. For one to get married and have a family, somewhere he released the rejection and built on the skill, because remember he said one of the skills of the program was to develop positive self-image. So he was able to create something within himself, leadership, respect, behavior, to come to a place where he felt good enough about himself where he was able to get married. Now we'll have to have Mr. Watts to come back to see if he has children. You know what I mean? But they did multiply what they learned. One went to the Marines and one graduated. And the age group that he was working with was ages 13 to 18. So yes, he did multiply. That's part of the blessing. That's part of the 3 blessing process. So he did multiply. So now we want to know if they're taking dominion. That's what we want to know now. All right, Brother James Parker.
Yeah, just what I was hearing him saying about, going out there into the communities and neighborhoods or schools, whatever you're led to, some people build up such preconceived things that you're going to run into. Well, what if we run into they got a gun? What if we run into and they're never prepared for not running into those things, or it delays them from going out into the streets? I mean, we keep forgetting they're kids. They are children, and they know the difference between someone who cares about them and somebody who don't care about them. And if you go up there with the wrong ideal, you're missing the point of all of this. This is show them love. They joined the gang because somebody showed them love. They're prostituting because somebody showed them love. Even though they're not getting treated, all they're hearing is somebody telling them, I got you. I got your back, no matter what happens. Now go out there and sell your body. I love you. I care for you. Now go out there and sell them drugs. That's all they're getting. But until somebody else come out there and share love with them and put them in a place, they're missing a father figure. They're missing a mother figure. They're missing a grandmother figure, whatever the case may be. I don't think you're too old or too young to go out there and show love. Just with Valentine's Day, God was telling me, go out in the streets and give away balloons and candy. And grown men, I'm giving grown men a balloon and a box of chocolate.
And I'm sure they appreciate it. And when I come there in May, I expect for you to have mine. Okay.
You're married. You're good.
That's what he focused on. That's what he focused on. Love, giving back to the community, building the community, yet allowing them to be have an exposure to other things, to say you're worth it, you can do something different, and it's like you were saying, it's not only kids that seek love, adults seek love too. It's part of human nature. Love should be an exchange. You know what I mean? It's engaging. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. It goes from different levels. But just to show somebody kindness, to show someone that you care, to show someone respect, to show someone that you hear them. You know what I mean? These are things that are a part of our human nature that we innately desire. And when that doesn't happen in our home, in our foundation, then we look for it in other places. You know what I mean? So for you to be able to go out Valentine's Day, and I saw where you were the blessing, and I still say what I said: when I come there, you need to have my candy and my balloon. Case closed, King James. So to be able to give, to be able to give of ourselves, sometimes a person don't need to be looked down on or beat up on. They need to know that it's okay and I support you and we can move forward. So come on, Pastor Franklin.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alexander. Thank you. And everyone who's on this call, because I see the wonderful inspiration when God's people go out there and make that attempt and to take one step at a time and allow their minds to be still enough so that we do not get subjugated by the matrix of the negative perspective of our subconscious minds. And that is what we did, because a lot of times we see in the news media and social media different negative images of people who out there. And our minds, if we don't steel our minds, we get caught up in that matrix of negativity. And that is our responsibility. That is our internal responsibility to take back our original minds that God has put within each one of us. And as we do and we act on it, we allow ourselves to become instruments of God to bring God's blessing to the people. And that's what I saw. That's what I saw, the blessing that creates the transformation of a human soul. And at first, at first, we might get trapped into that. But then when we go forward, we start thinking about loving and honor and respecting that person who I'm getting ready to see. Because 6 years ago, I lived in a pretty challenging neighborhood, and guys were just hanging out, and they used to see me coming home from work, and they used to test me, by checking me out and looking at me and having eye contact and asking me how I'm doing. And so I allowed myself just to be still at that moment. And he said, "You got any jobs out? You got any jobs over there, man, open?" And I said, "Yeah, I think there are jobs still available." And they said, "Okay, they accept people with a criminal record, like, say for instance, if they murder somebody." And I just said, "Well, I don't know about," and they just cracked up. they just they just bent over, and and so I was able to win their hearts. But but I had that foundation of being able to do that because I went into that situation with the attitude of respect. Mm-hmm. And we go into that with believing in the possibility that this is God's potential son and daughter. And then heaven can open up our hearts and say the things that they need to hear at the right moment in time. And all that is what I'm seeing, from his testimony, and also some of the, wonderful examples that have been displayed on this platform. And we are called no more criticizing what we see on TV. We are about becoming God's alternative. And so those are some of the reflections that come to me as I, hear that testimony. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your heart. And one thing that he started off with, he said, perfect love brings peace, and peace brings the power of God. And as we move forward and we celebrate and we talk about peace starts with me and Alliance Ministry and peace starts with me, does peace really reign? Like when we show up, are we showing up in a peaceful spirit where we can be received? You know what I mean? That's the responsibility, to be able, like you said earlier, to quiet your spirit, to be able to receive someone with love, with respect, and that becomes an exchange. 9 times out of 10, when you approach someone, when you reproach them with respect, you get respect in return. You know, that's a part of the human exchange. You know, you approach someone with love, and it could be a person that's been hostile for a long period of time. But if you approach them with love or with some type of gentleness or softness, they're not as quick to be that hostile person.
That's
You know,
right.
so that kind of sets the realm of things. We have about we have a minute left. Is there anyone else in the gallery that would share a perspective or have anything that they would like to say? Wow. So our next meeting, you guys might know or might not know, but Reverend
In
Oliver
2
is on his
weeks.
way out of the country.
In 2
So
weeks.
okay. In 2 weeks, we'll have a live person. So, and then after that, I think the schedule kind of changed. So look for that in your email as forthcoming information. So at this time, I'm going to say, God bless you all. May you continue to reign in the hemisphere in which you have been assigned to bring forth peace, grace, and respect, and to hold up the banner of love to young people. Don't show them any type of fear, but show them that they are worth the time of day for you to just speak to them, whether they're hanging out in front of a store, whether you're in the mall, whether you're in a restaurant. When you see them, speak to them, let them know that you see them. I think that is their cry. They want to be seen. As adults, we want to be seen. We just handle ourselves in a different way. Our job is to respect all those that we encounter. So as we continue to move in love, grace, and respect, I pray the peace of God upon you as you continue your journeys, as you visit different platforms and speak with positivity as we continue to move on in the things of God, and as we move forward with the Stopping the Violence movement, for lack of a better word. So until we meet again, God bless you all. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
God bless.
God bless you.
Yes, we just let Reverend Oliver know that we can hold the line while he's away, right? We can hold the
Amen.
Yes, we can.
Here we
Yes,
go.
yes. God bless you all. Take
Thank
care
you,
of
Dr.
yourselves.
Madeline.
Thank you.
Thank you, EJ. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. What will we do
See
without
you.
you?
See you next
Yes.
time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for all that you do. Bye-bye.